you know,
She is prettier than
just
you
have
guys,
fun
I
and
tell you that.
just have fun and,
What kind of fun are you
Fun.
talking about?
well,
What are we
We're
talking
having a
As the night goes
conversation,
on,
Tom.
we'll
That's
see.
the extent of it.
That's where it starts. What are you doing tonight, babe?
Is that
All right,
first
I got
base?
camera.
Okay.
We can't.
Yes,
Okay.
I have
Hi, Tom.
diarrhea. Cut.
Do you see that?
It's her fault. Let's go
Oh,
to
yeah.
Coney Island.
Much
The
better.
hell with
Yeah.
this.
All right.
I could have been a priest drinking in some monastery now. Open.
All right, camera's rolling.
Audio's rolling.
All right.
And I looked. Okay, now on the problem. Sorry. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you here.
Nice seeing you.
I always wanted to be in radio. When I was growing up in Mount Carmel, I was happy enough to do a mine dance. It was called the General Mine Dance. So I always thought, and I listened to WISL radio ever since I was a kid. My mom was from Shamokin, so we listened to 1480. I always thought that's the station I would like to be on. And so I gave it a try after graduation from high school and went down and met Bernie Sachs, the station manager, Friedman, the last name, and he liked what I did and hired me. I've always had ties to Shamokin because my mom was from the 5th Ward. Pop came from Poland. He took a wrong turn somewhere, but nonetheless found my mom. And the rest is history. And I started at the night shift from 6 to midnight, went to the afternoon then from noon till 6, and my love was the morning. And that would be from 6 a.m. till noon. The beauty part of radio back then and our station, people really listened. Kids nowadays flip from one station to another to another. They didn't, for the most part. They did not. They stuck to WISL, period. This was their hometown station. And I'm talking Coltmont, Cole Township, Mount Carmel, Sunbury, wherever. Then I had a chance to do a talk show at 10:30 till noon when our chairman passed on. And that's what turned me on more than anything about playing music. I loved talking to people as you and I are. I interviewed one of my favorite people ever, Stanley Kowaleski, Shamokin and Cole Township's Hall of Famer. I still think the town doesn't do enough to honor him, but they did a lot in front of the Indies, thanks to your dad, Dick Kashner. He was one, Lum Bradley and some others. We finally got a beautiful monument in his honor. But shaking his hand, he was a humble man. But meeting people like him and being so genuine, I thought there's a coal cracker, picked coal, made it to the big top, but he came back here to be honored in 1969 in the Hall of Fame. And he was so humble. He never forgot his roots. On a Friday night, you would have a policeman on every corner directing traffic. Town was crazy. You had anything from the Coney Island to one of my favorites, Jupiter Discount Store. But you had everything in town. Jupiter Discount to me was the Newberries, the Woolworths. You had everything you ever wanted. And Christmas time, which is my favorite time of the year, by all means, the store windows. Everyone outdid the other. And you would go from store to store and gawk and look. Jones Hardware, you would see the trains, which turned me on as a kid. Couldn't afford them, but that's okay. That's what turned me on, I think, about not only Shamokin, but the area, the friendliness of people. On Steel Pier in Atlantic City, many years ago, a guy by the name of Bob Richter, who married my wife's cousin, was station manager on at the station owned by Whitey Ford and Hank Bauer of the Yankees. And he called me about 3 years after I started at WISL. Hey, we need you down here. We have an opening jock thing in the morning. And I said, no, that was big money. I'm a small town kid. Okay, and the people, that's what we just got along. Christmas time, people would call for Christmas songs. People always call me Mr. Christmas because I have a heart for Christmas. And they would make their Christmas cookies and they would put the tree up. That station was very powerful, only 1,000 watts, but powerful because of what we did. But I love a parade. I don't care if it's a little pet parade, a big parade, but I love parades. But one in particular, and this was the year 1957, the Shamokin JC sponsored this parade. And what a unique observation. Keep Christ in Christmas. Can you believe that? No Santa Claus, and I have the video, it's out there for sure. And all the churches in the environs of Shamokin, Cole Township, I guess, and there were some beautiful floats, all black and white, Matthew's a good guy. He's behind the camera, ready to throw darts at him. But Santa Claus and children, that to me has always been very big in my heart. The one that I did, I remember so vividly, was I got on the Uniontown Fire Company truck. Okay, so they brought me in on a hook and ladder. And Santa gets off the fire truck, and between pillows and it was not easy, okay? It really wasn't. So they fixed me up somewhat and we're good. And I had a ball doing it. Well, it was time for Santa to say goodbye and go up and change. So I waved to the children that were still there, and I thought to myself, something doesn't feel right. Did one of the children pee on me? It just felt cold. So I thought, okay, I'm still waving to the children, and I looked down and Santa's pants fell down. Yes, thank goodness I did have regular pants underneath. But I'm thinking, what just doesn't feel right here? And I thought, oh my. So Rudolph had to get his act together and fix up Santa, and at the steps I went. I interviewed Miss World. There's a James Way department store. I went to get up there, I think 10:30 in the morning, and I was at the station in the morning, so I had to leave there, get on the air, I think, for 11. It was jammed. You couldn't get in the place. So being a smart character sometimes, I went up to the state police barracks that was on Route 61 by the plumbing outlet. And I said, hey, Tom, what's going on? I said, I have a major problem. I'm to be on the air at 11 o'clock. This is like 10:30-ish. I said, I no way am I going to get in there. He said, okay. So somebody else took over, and he gets in the state police car, turns the light and siren on, and there I am with the suit on, me, believe it or not, yeah. And so we pull in, we get into the front of James Way, and I'll never forget, there I am with the suit. He said, thank you, sir. The governor will hear about your kindness. I appreciate it very much. He looked at me, he says, get the hell out. And that was it, quote unquote. There's one other name I have to say. Love the man dearly. He was good for the Shamokin area. His name was Pete Dorito. Walked with a walker. He used to hang out in Wendy's a lot, as I remember correctly. And he would always say, come on, everybody, join in. Hello, friend. Or if it was your birthday, he'd whip out that little harmonica. I remember the Shamokin Centennial with a passion. With a passion.
Yeah, a whole week, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I was young, of course. Herma was younger. And we broadcast from next to Workman's office, interviewed a lot of people that turned me on. But that was a week of weeks. All the fire companies had something going for them. I remember vividly, if you paid your $5, they gave you a mug, and you put it on your belt, and you go to any hosey, if you will, fire company, and have yourself a good time all in that $5.
The Brothers of the Brush and
Brother, yeah, absolutely. And I have the original 1964 hard. Jim gave me, Jim Treese, as a matter of fact, that I love dearly. You never know who was going to be on the talk show. There were many surprises. Okay, there were. And then comes on St. Patrick's Day to the radio station at 10:30 in the morning, and he was at some bar most of the morning, getting an early start on St. Patrick's Day. Polish John was Polish, but he looked like a leprechaun. He was perfect, and he had a few libations, I guess, for a better term, and sat there at the microphone, and first thing he said was, I'm so happy to be here at WSIL. Had that wrong. WPPA, I said, no, that's Pottsville. And it's like, oh Lord, get me through this one. But he sang a song about Centralia. And he was so on with this thing, as he's from Centralia. And the poor guy passed on some years ago, but yeah, you can hear that on WISL1480.com, right, Jim?
Might as well.
Oh, and listen, anything goes here,
Comes
okay?
with props.
Okay, thank you. Bad reason. Okay, so if why don't you? She'll be on too, right?
Sure.
That.
So what am I
Just
doing?
just press the button here.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? Get me out of here!
Okay, so my guests on the show were Jim Kelly Sr. I always had a lot of respect, and Jim Jr., of course. I thanked them for being on the show, and I said, this is for you, happy St. Patrick's Day. And so we pressed the button, and people heard it, of course. They had no clue. And Jim Sr. at the end said, Tom, I have to tell you something. I said, yes, sir. He said, I have to tell you, I've never in my entire life been lost for words, but you have me. I'm lost for words. said, Happy St. Patrick's Day. And I always had a way of, I don't know why, trying to make people laugh. Don't know why. Maybe I was put on this earth to do that, to try and make people laugh. And so there are many coaches that always add a little more to the story, hopefully, that would say, oh my God, you're not going to believe what Kutza did this time. There were some class acts, but I decided it was just something.
Elaborate on that?
No, sir, I don't think I would prefer. And I would have some toys out on the table, and lo and behold, who comes in the one day? And it was a nun and a priest. And I had some toys on the table that I would prefer not to mention at this time. And my first thought was simply, I have a great vocabulary. My first thought when I saw them come through was, oh shit. I mean, I could be more eloquent, I won't, that's me. Everybody knows me, okay? That's the way it can be. But it was just that I thought, well, I start throwing stuff underneath. Oh my, oh my, oh my. But you got to believe Mike McLaughlin or you're going to believe me.
Mike.
Right, Mike.
Fantastic.
Captain Action. Get it right, kid?
Well,
Captain
Captain
Potato.
Action.
I had the potato. That's another story.
No, you
Yeah.
should tell the story about the potato.
No, I spoke.
He's running out of film.
Yeah. No, I
20 minutes?
I love to speak. No, I won't get into that.
We're fine. I just wanted to
I
make sure
did a
we're
lot
on
of speaking engagements. Andy Heinz, the editor of the news item, he did a big story on me showing a picture of Captain Action, okay? And it was a huge, real big picture of Captain Action in more ways than one. But Andy and I got to be good friends. I'll never forget, I had many friends at the news item, okay? And so I would meander up the steps one at a time with my cane and all that neat stuff. And what the heck did I say? Something about I would walk in and always cause a commotion. What did I call for? Something, I didn't like the picture in the paper, my obit. I would say things like that. And Jake Betts would stand up and say, security, we need security. So I said, well, yeah, the police came up and took Jake away. There is I have to tell you one story that just popped in my head. A place called downtown Diamond Town. Okay, it's just before you go over there on 61, if you make a left and go up to Aristus. Mars Dairy was there forever, but you went down right into Diamond Town. This guy by the name of George Homiak had a bar room. He always called it downtown Diamond Town. This was not a bar room per se. It was the bar room. He would, if it was your birthday, he would take you for a ride in a wheelbarrow. This is during the war years when you needed a laugh. And so many of the servicemen, and I do have the books of where they're from, they would sign in. I have them right behind me, in fact. Very interesting indeed. But these people came from all over the country because their servicemen friends from Shamokin, Township, wherever, would take them to this unique establishment. Wow. They had a jail. If you cursed, they would put you in jail. For the ladies, which you can't do now, he had a microphone in the ladies' room. So you know how girls could go in and say, what do you think about that guy? Is he a jerk or what? They had a microphone in there, which is illegal now. Right. And he would have a burst of air coming up in the ladies' room. People just went there because it was different. He had money on the bar, and if you figured how they left or whatever, somebody would take the money. Well, it was heated. He would have some kind of a little electrical thing underneath, and just goofy little things. If girls had to go to the bathroom, I think you had to go up a ladder or something. It's like, oh, just crazy, weird stuff would never work now. But when you see the pictures that I have of that, you would say, oh my God, that was cool. Yeah, that was so cool. He made soldiers, people laugh at a bad era. That downtown Diamond Town, a little nothing, Homiaks. I think that my crowning glory is put that lunch on her, Annie, I'm coming home. Yeah. I just did that thing, right, Matt?
Yes.
Mike,
my mom still talks about that.
Kids like Matt here doing the show, you're what, 26 now?
13.
13, yeah, plus 1, yeah. What I said meant was...
My weight or my age?
But seriously, I just said that one time out of nowhere, and we were just married, I guess. And I was like, it originally started with put that supper on her, Addie, I'm coming home. And then it was put that lunch on when I moved up to the afternoon. And when the kids came along, Joseph and Lorena. And to this day, it's amazing how many people will come in. You're the guy that said, put that lunch on Herma Annie, because her name was Herma, and she never liked the Annie part so much, but it's a little bit different. But anyway, like I said, I'm just proud of the fact that I'm from the area. I was born here. I'll die here. No hurry. You know, everybody wants to be with Jesus when they die, but I'm fine. I got some stuff to do here. Yeah, don't bug me right now. You know, that's the way it is. But whatever it is. So anyway, put that lunch on, Herma Annie. I'm coming home, Joseph and Lorena.